However big or small, our home should be a haven.
There's 1,000 jobs I need to do around the house.
We just don't have the time.
But it's not always easy keeping a house in order.
It's such a shame we're not using the space.
It is absolutely rammed full of stuff.
But help is at hand.
That's a fantastic piece of furniture.
Look at this!
A slug.
That is solid.
You can take back control of your home with clever, common-sense hacks
It's perfect. I love it.
that don't bust the bank balance.
And the best thing, you still got all of your storage.
From this to this, that is just gleaming.
That'll do nicely.
We'll show you how you can make life-changing improvements in just one day.
Nice and clean for Mummy! Yay! I absolutely love it.
I don't think it's ever looked that good before.
With better use and a spruce up of your space.
It's wonderful.
I love it.
You managed to do this in a day.
This is absolutely brilliant. You get me on teary now.
Our team of experts is here to help.
The old tool belt's coming out. Well, that's how I know you're serious.
Master builder Tommy Walsh brings over 50 years of DIY experience.
Solid as a rock.
Maxime Dwyer runs one of the UK's top extreme cleaning companies.
That's what I mean by squeaky clean.
And creative carpenter Asher Edwards prides himself on being a perfectionist.
I am good. Just a little bit. Cheers, cheers, cheers.
So which household has sent a distress call today?
Hello, I'm Rosie Bell and I am 8 years old.
And I'm Hayley, her mum.
Primary school teacher Hayley bought her ex-council home in Bristol 10 years ago.
Initially, I bought it not imagining that I'd become a mother, so it's just perfect for the two of us. The draw was the fact that regardless of the fact we're in the centre, you can see just a backdrop of green and trees.
Though there are only two of them, they are cramped for space.
This is the kitchen area. We will eat our breakfast, lunch and dinner using the kitchen counter. We'll pull up a fold-up chair. Rosie Bell will perch herself there and I will perch myself a little bit further down.
They have one room where they spend the majority of their time.
Certainly not maximising the space in this room, which is where we do most of our living. This is my office, just here. So I do tend to use my laptop on my lap, and then I'll place the laptop down and have my dinner on my lap. So there's quite a lot of lap action that goes on in this front room. This is Rosie Bell's art area. I think we'd benefit from a desk space of some sort to work at. Rosie Bell has to do her art kneeling down with cushions, and as she gets that bit older, it'd be quite nice to elevate your art, have it at a workstation of sorts.
There's no storage in here, and it isn't very welcoming either.
Lots of bare wall space. Everything's at floor level. A hearth with a very rickety, precariously balanced mantelpiece. Everything could slide at any moment. Fireplace that's boarded over. I'm very reluctant to put any nails in the walls or any fixtures. So I suppose that would aid the storage if I could go up a little bit.
They do have some extra space to use in the warmer months of the year.
6 months roundabout of the year, when the weather's on our side, we will sit in the conservatory. This is the conservatory space. It's lovely, it's airy, it lets the outside come in. It's wonderful for best part of the year, but for a lot of the year, it's damp and dank with the door closed and we don't access it at all. It's pretty much out of bounds come winter. It's just very cold, which kind of confines us to here, doesn't it, for eating and the kitchen. It's not ideal, but we muddle on.
The family need a complete rethink so that they can enjoy their home all year round.
It just feels like I'm not making the most of the space about the house. There are areas and I know I could be, or we could be making use of them, but I just wouldn't know where to start. If your team could come in and help us to maximise the space in this room in any way at all, we'd be very grateful and very happy, and we'd be able to enjoy our home a little bit more.
Today is the big clean and fix.
Want to give her a kiss?
With the team arriving shortly, the family head out to give them free rein in their home and show you can make a difference in just one day and on a purse-friendly budget.
I don't think much of the weather, do you?
No, it looks real miserable.
Grey skies.
This is us over here, right?
Oh, yeah. And with the green door. I feel a song coming on. After you.
Lovely floor.
Yeah, it's nice, isn't it?
Yeah, I can clean this up.
It's not a big room. And obviously they've got storage problems because everything's spread about. They need to stack it.
This space is weird. It's minimalistic, but cluttered at the same time.
That's a contradiction, but yeah, you're right,
I'm
actually.
going to go and check out the kitchen.
All right, so you see.
I'm going to give in here a deep clean. It looks as though this is where they're eating. Do you know what it needs? A good old once-over behind all these things, pull out and work my magic. There's lots of glass in this room, and it all needs a good clean, including the door frames and the floor.
A plan is hatching in the front room too.
Now, no Rosie Bell likes to do art and crafts, and obviously looking at all the materials and pencils and crayons and everything there, this must be where she does it. I think I could maybe make that a more interesting zone, a more practical, usable space.
Right, whilst you're focusing on that area, I can't help but notice this side of the room. The TV, the plants, it's not working.
No, and the storage is sort of spread, really. It needs to be contained, doesn't it?
This should be the main focus of the room.
Yeah.
But it's a bit disjointed.
The fireplace, there is an issue with the ventilation because that chimney itself is not vented, and that's going to have to be investigated.
Definitely.
And I think maybe we should get our tools out and crack on.
Yeah, cool.
OK.
Let's get started.
The team need to transform the front room into a much more usable space for mother and daughter that supports their living habits. Tommy will open up and repair the fireplace to create a focal point. And upcycle a multi-purpose table where Hayley and Rosie Bell can eat, work and play. Asha will come up with a clever storage solution for the alcove. And Maxine will deep clean the kitchen and get the conservatory sparkling. They have a full day of cleaning and fixing, so they better get started.
This shelf, it's a bit wonky, not well fixed. The Hayleys obviously tried to address it by wedging it up and putting Chinese chopsticks to hold this straight. It obviously hasn't worked very well. So we need to take that shelf off.
Modern, minimal floating shelves are a clean and stylish way to display items on a wall. But MDF shelves can be heavy and need a lot of support to hold them in place.
This might need a little bit more persuasion. These are not attached properly, so that's what's causing it to wobble. There's the Chinese chopsticks, look. That was used as a wedge. There you go. I'll take it right off and then we'll start again.
Shelving can sag and droop if you exceed the weight they can hold, or if the screws holding the brackets aren't deep enough in the wall or secured with screw plugs. But what's key to Tommy's fix-it lies behind the panel covering the fireplace.
In an ideal world, when this panel comes off, there would be a lovely Victorian tiled insert in there. And then all we'd have to do is put a nice surround to it. And that would be job done. But I've got a feeling that we're going to be disappointed today. Yeah, well, sometimes you get disappointed. Oh, there's a lot of damage in here. See, the reason why they've covered it up is because it's in a bit of bad condition. Broken bricks there, and you've got this gas flute hanging down. That'll all have to be altered.
At some point, the fireplace housed a gas-back boiler. The flue was a channel for any dangerous fumes to safely escape outside.
But then this all straightened up with a nice coat of paint and a surround, and it will make this fireplace the focal point of the room again, which is exactly what you want, not to cover it. And also, covering it up without ventilating it is technically illegal. All void areas need to be vented, otherwise fungus can grow in there and all sorts of horrible, yucky things.
With the brickwork exposed, Tommy can manually remove the damage caused by years of poor ventilation.
I'm just using a comb chisel, and with a light club hammer, I'm chasing off all the render at the back. And that was put on there because when this was built, it would have had a fire brick insert pre-made off-site. And they would have brought that here, built the surround, put the mortar on the back, and then stuck the fire brick insert to that. So that's got to come off, and we'll reveal the bricks, clean it up a little bit, and it'll look a lot tidier, look nice. Because at the moment, you can't leave it, it's a mess. Over on this far right where the damaged brickwork is, I'm going to stitch in some brick slips. So we cut down the bricks in size. Instead of them being a full-size brick, there might be half or 2/3 of a brick width. And that makes them easier to bed in there. And we'll just have it nice and flush on the outside so it'll look like it's been there forever. But we know different.
Half bricks or brick slips give the same look as conventional brickwork.
Right, if you're cutting down bricks into brick slips or just cutting them into wedges, here's a little tip, because it's really hard to actually hold the brick while you use an angle grinder. So get a bit of scrap wood, just put it like that onto the edge of the brick, and then with your foot you hold it in position. Put your goggles on, it's important that you wear goggles, and then we're going to start the angle grinder. I've put the lead round the back of this leg to make sure it doesn't come into contact with the blade. Turn it on.
With different attachable blades, versatile angle grinders can cut, grind and polish a variety of different material and surfaces, and you can buy an inexpensive model for under £30.
Right, now using a bolster chisel and a light club hammer, I'll split these bricks. Voila!
Later, Tommy will paint the new fireplace bricks black to make them more uniform. Before Asher sets about constructing the media and storage unit, he's getting a little help online.
So I use this software to help visualize and plan everything that I make. It also helps with a cut list and shows the best way to lay out all the pieces. If you're PC savvy, you can try it out yourself. You can get real creative and design anything the heart desires. Or you can do it the old school way, pen and paper. Takes a bit longer, but still get the job done.
Free woodworking software can save you money. As you've planned the work already, you're less likely to make expensive mistakes and overestimate the supplies you'll need to complete the job. Now to turn the idea into a reality.
So I want to create a unit that hides the TV box, the internet box, all of that clutter, and neaten up the area rather than have it all on show, because I've noticed that she likes to live a minimalistic life.
Asher's constructing the unit from 18mm MDF wood, which is cheaper and more readily available than hardwood. He's chosen MDF as it has a smooth finish that's easy to paint and is ideal for his plan to make it a colour that blends in with the room decor.
Now I'm making this unit slightly oversized. You don't want it to be completely flush, flat against the wall. You want to accentuate the gap. Instead of trying to make it perfectly smooth with the wall, it will be impossible to hide the drain line. So if you make that size of the unit bigger than the wall, it looks better and you're not trying to hide something.
Inside, Maxine is getting to grips with the kitchen.
So look at this. Filthy. It's a strainer for the middle of the sink. All it takes is a bit of cream cleaner on it, just like this. And you just give it a bit of a rubbing. Don't have to be violent. You're going to be happy when you're washing your dishes after doing this, because your sink will be fresh and nice.
A kitchen sink can have more germs in it than a toilet, as many as 17,000 bacteria in every square inch.
Most people think they know how to clean their sinks, but really, they don't know, because take a look at this.
A sink strainer might look clean on top, but underneath it's another matter.
It even smells. Look at that.
Damp and dark plug holes are perfect breeding grounds for bacteria.
People don't realise that they could unscrew their plug hole, and this will reveal a lot of gunk underneath. Have a look at this now. Ooh, that's why sometimes sinks smell, because you see what lies underneath? It's gunk. Yuck. A bit of cream cleaner on here. And just work like this. Gently does it around the rim. You come with your microfiber and then you just wipe away. Look at the dirt, very filthy. To clean this bit, just put it in the water and just wipe it like this. Now this should be ready to re-screw in.
The sink on the other side isn't any better.
Oh! Absolutely reeks. People just don't know that this is lurking underneath their sinks.
And if you need to clean and deodorize deeper than the plug hole to the kitchen drain, pour a cup of baking soda down the plug hole, followed by 2 cups of vinegar. 15 minutes later, rinse with boiling water from the kettle. But avoid unscrewing the plug hole.
It's important not to put any water down here, because if you do, it'll go underneath the sink. So you have to wash carefully. That's why cream cleaner is quite good for this, because if you put enough cream cleaner and minimal water on your brush, nothing's going down. There you go. And now here comes the awful part. Oh dear. One way to do it is to put your index finger in the rag and run it all across. Look at this. There's even more lurking down here. Look. Ooh, wow, look at this. I'm gonna unscrew mine tonight. I'm telling you, I've got to. This is terrible. Asha!
Maxine!
Come here!
Wait a minute. What is that? And you're using my screwdriver? I don't even know what it is.
Sorry, I
don't know whether I'm more upset that you're using my screwdriver.
Yes.
I don't know if it's the smell.
I know.
It's all of the above, Maxine.
Oh,
What is going on?
wow. Well, I'm sorry, sweetheart. I can wash your screwdriver.
Oh no, burn it, throw it away. I don't want it no more. I don't want it no more of it. It's a silver there.
Outside, Tommy is trying his hand at upcycling to solve one of the family's main issues in the front room.
Rosie Bell does her artwork on her knees or on a couple of cushions, which is okay, but what we need ideally is this space to work harder for us.
I picked up this table online for 30 quid. And the good thing about it, it's very practical for different uses.
A drop leaf table is a great choice for a small space. With 2 hinged leaves at either end, you can raise the sides for a dinner, then drop them back down and tuck the table away against the wall.
Big table, if you have lots of guests round, just one flap up for a small table. It all folds away, very compact, so it don't take up any room. And also, there are 4 chairs that fit under the centre of it. So it's really sensible to have a designated eating area, because it gets very cold out there in the conservatory in the winter, which makes that impractical to use. And also, on top of all that, this is the perfect place for Rosie Bell to do her arts and crafts.
If your table is made of solid wood, sanding before polishing, oiling or painting will give you a much better finish, but some other materials need a little care.
I have to be careful with sanding this down, because this is melamine on top of chipboard, so it's only a very thin coat. So I just want to give it a key so it grips the paint. We're going to paint this and upcycle it.
Melamine is a plastic resin and was a popular furniture coating in the 1950s, and it's often used to make picnic wear. If you sand too hard, you risk exposing the chipboard underneath. Ash has cut out all his wooden panels for the media and storage unit. Before he begins construction, he needs to paint them, which can take time that the team don't have. But he's got a speedy solution.
So it's important to wear your mask. The paint fumes are going to go everywhere.
Hold on a minute. You ain't finally going to start doing some painting?
I am indeed. Yes, I am.
Do you want me brush?
No, get that away from me. I don't want to see it. You got to work smarter, not harder.
Using a spray gun?
Exactly. Yeah. Puts the paint on a lot quicker, smoother. By the time you use that on this, we'll be here till next year. We don't have time for that.
And there I thought I caught him actually painting on the sly. But it turns out it's another gadget.
Of course, you know it.
So before I get started, I'm going to shoot on a bit of offcut just to make sure the gun is working all right. Looks good to me. Let's get started.
You having a problem?
Need to change the tip. That's why.
They get clogged up, that's the problem.
Yeah. That's the only downside with these little gadgets. They're a gift and a curse at times.
You sure you don't want to borrow this brush?
Nope, get it away from me. I don't want to see it.
Well, let's hope you don't have to eat your words and give me a call back in 5 or 10 minutes.
Let's try that now.
Paint sprayer tips can clog if there's too little or too much air pressure, or the type of liquid hardens quickly in contact with the air.
It's the battery.
Should have charged the battery, shouldn't I?
Electric paint sprayers can be bought from hardware stores for as little as £50. After a hesitant start, Ash is soon making quick progress.
That's all the painting done. There were a few haters out there, no names mentioned, but we've got the job done. So now just got to let this dry. Look at that, absolutely beautiful.
With his upcycled table sanded down, Tommy can apply his first coat of paint.
This is special furniture paint, chalky finish, and it transforms it.
Tommy, are you still painting?
Yes.
You was laughing at me 5 minutes ago, and I've done everything I needed to do. You spent like 17 hours out here. This is why we struggle to get things done on time. It's you and your slow painting. Get one of these.
Yeah, but cleaning them's the hard part.
That's true. Because it's water-based, I can wash this out pretty quick.
That's water-based, so's this. So I could wash this out pretty quick.
I'm going to wash this out, and I bet you're still going to be painted.
The great thing about this chalky finish furniture paint is that if you're not a dab hand at painting, you can still get away with it. We've got to let the paint go off in between coats. That's the crucial thing. Because if you do it before it's dry, the second coat will drag the first coat along, and then it'll look in a shocking state. And that's all I have to do, just make sure it dries nice and solid, and the upcycling of this piece of furniture will be complete.
Maxine's making quick work of the kitchen.
Just cleaning the grease off here. Just mild detergent, that's all it is. And you just rub in a circular motion again, as you do, with a microfiber.
Cooker hoods get dirty with a mixture of grease and dust, so you need to clean them before you polish.
Do you know, if this is done once a month, it'll be as easy as this to come off, honestly. You see, it's gliding off now. This side is dragging because it's greasy. Don't use any harsh chemicals. All it needs is detergent and a wash, and then dry it off. Look at this, you can see the grease just coming off.
Whilst his table is drying, Tommy's moved on to sprucing up the front room's walls.
Well, we want to paint this wall, but at some time there has been some damp or moisture problems, and it's caused the paint to crack. So what I want to do is, in order to paint this without the cracks showing, I have to scrape off the damaged paint, like that. Then we get some fast drying filler, and we apply that to where we've scraped the paint off. Once it's dry, we give it a very light sanding, wipe it down, and it's ready for painting.
Working to a tight budget, Ash has bought in bulk, using the same material as his media storage unit to assist Tommy with the fireplace.
So I'm cutting this piece of MDF and it's going to sit inside the bottom of the fireplace. What I'm doing now is just for aesthetics. It's not going to be a working fireplace, so I'm going to cut this to size, slot it in, and we can paint it up, and it's going to look beautiful. 10 times better than having a board hiding all of it all.
Opening up and reinstalling a working fireplace can cost hundreds, if not thousands of pounds, depending on what you buy to furnish it.
Beautiful.
But, as the family don't need one, by adding a new surround and a lick of paint, the team are creating a focal point for the room at a fraction of the cost. It's time for a break.
Hi, guys. Maxine.
Hi, Maxine.
Hi, how's it going?
We've only got a couple of hours left, so we've got to crack on a bit. How are you doing?
Oof, I've got a lot going on today. I've got the TV unit, fireplace, mantle.
I feel sorry for you guys because your task is mammoth.
I really hope that Hayley and little Rosie Bell like what we're doing. So let's get it right and make sure that they enjoy it and love it.
Definitely. Let's go in.
Yes, Maxine. OK, I'm coming.
All right,
I'm
Chief.
Coming.
It's halfway through the day and time to pick up the pace.
These windows are really filthy. I'm just giving them a good old wash with soapy water. This is so that it will free up all the dirt that's on the window.
Maxine has a tried and tested method to achieve sparkling, clean windows.
If you go in a circular motion, you will be able to get every inch of the window. And you won't miss anything because you're overlapping just like this. So you get the frame as well. The edges you go like this because you have to get it right. Do the edges and then fill in the middle with circular motions. Lovely, very nice. I'm going to buff it up now with newspaper. The reason why I'm using newspaper is because it gives it a lovely buff. Back in the day, when they used newspaper, the ink would bleed onto the window. But the modern ink on the newspaper is pretty good and it doesn't bleed.
Cleaning windows with newspapers is not only cheap, but the thick paper drinks up any excess water, and vegetable-based ink is less likely to streak the window.
The thickness of the newspaper just gives it a lovely buffing. You can hear it even sounds squeaky clean. Can you see the difference? Look at this. There's nothing more than soap and water and a buffing with a newspaper, remembering to go along the edges and then just buff.
For a natural window cleaner, mix equal parts white vinegar with water, spray on and wipe clean. The vinegar's acidity will eliminate streaks.
This is so clean you could eat off it.
Streaks don't only affect glass, they can be problematic on black tiles too.
I'm mopping the floor with hot soapy water and a tip of vinegar. Black tiles are notorious if you don't wash them correctly and dry them correctly. They leave lots of streaks. The vinegar will stop it from streaking.
The soapy hot water and vinegar mix is a natural alternative to harsher chemical cleaners, especially if you have pets or kids who love to hang out on the floor. And there's another opportunity for Maxine's preferred application method.
Do the corners as you always do, and then in the middle in the figure 8. And that way you won't miss anything at all. Now once you've done this, the key to getting rid of the smears is to use a microfiber cloth and just run it on every part of the floor. You do it towards your exit. Can you see how this is looking nice and smear free? And that's how you deal with black tiles. Lovely.
I'm a little bit concerned. There's only a couple of hours left and we've got loads to do.
With the walls prepped, Tommy's painting them and the alcove a light sand colour that warms the space and matches Hayley's simple furniture and newly opened fireplace.
Now this is the interesting part, because the reason this was boarded up was the soot kept dropping down and dirtying whatever was on display here, which is a common problem. So we're going to put a plywood floor in here, if you like. And we've got some holes drilled in it. You can see these 6 holes, and that allows ventilation of the void area. Very important. And it also stops all that rubbish coming down. Ooh. Nearly kicked the paint over there. Sure, that would have been a problem.
Outside, the heavens have opened up, but Asher has it covered.
Gazebo up. Love it. So now I'm trying to attach these doors to the carcass. Nothing fancy, standard concealed cabinet hinges. So right now I'm just marking out where they need to go and then attach all my doors on. After I got that in, I need to attach the 2 units together and then scribe in a worktop that's going to sit on top. I've got a lot to do. What would my life be without this gazebo? The rain isn't worrying me too much because I've done most of my painting already. If I haven't painted, the moisture in the air will make the paint take longer to dry, and not ideal. You don't really want to paint in humid conditions, but my first coat of paint is done, and that's the most important coat. Can finish off everything else inside.
Maxine has made such good progress on her missions for the day that she's searching for other tasks to help the family.
Look at these tiles. They need a good old scrubbing. I can't wait. You know what? I just go like this with it. I come up a tree, but this seems broken. Tommy?
Yes, Max?
Look at this, it's broken.
Just leave it to me, I'll fix it.
Brilliant, thank you. Right. I'm gonna tackle this wall. I'll put some cream cleaner on the brush.
Porcelain tiles are great for a bathroom because they're water resistant, but they need a regular wipe to remove dirt and limescale.
These tiles are quite dirty. No idea what's been happening here. They're pretty dirty, so I'm just scrubbing it with a bit of cream cleaner. I have to kind of give it a good old brush.
Tile grout is usually made from porous cement, so it doesn't take much for dirt and stains to form on it. An abrasive brush will help lift the muck away.
Look at the difference, look at that. Can you see that? It's magnificent. And that's how you clean dirty grouts, with a stiff brush and cream cleaner.
That thunder sounds a bit ominous, doesn't it? I'm about to get creative and do a lovely painted pattern on the top of this table that will pick up with the colour on the wall. And it should look rather smart. Here we go with the brush. So hopefully this stencil will lift it a little bit and improve the whole piece of furniture.
Before you stencil, make sure the surface is clean and dry, and attach the stencil with some masking tape that won't leave a mark. You can use emulsion paint, spray paint, even enamel, but double check it will set on the type of surface you're applying it to.
We try not to go under the stencil, so not too much paint. Don't load the brush up too much, because otherwise it can bleed through underneath stencil, and I don't want that. That's it, we'll let that dry and see if it works. Let's see if this is going to be a successful day or otherwise. There we are, come out very good. Well, I'm going to let this dry, and then hopefully it won't smudge when I use it to make the next stencil mark on the table. On a wet day like today, where's that going to be?
Asher's almost ready to fit his media storage unit.
Right, so in this alcove, it looks like there's a bit of boxwork going in. We don't know what's behind it, and I'm not trying to find out. So I'm going to cut my unit out around.
But Asher has all the angles covered.
Now, if you've got a handsaw, what you might not know is this is actually a square as well. So if you line your saw up to what you want to square, and along this side here gives you a 90-degree line. I've marked out what I need. I'm going to take this outside and cut it.
What I'm doing, making up a plinth for the underneath of the hearth, and we're doing it out of MDF, and we're gluing it and pinning it to hold it all together. So in order to get it in the right position, we have to use clamps that tighten up and help the glue to go off quick.
Wood glue, PVA glue and super glue can all be used to join MDF together, although drying times will differ.
Well, that's almost spot on. So now all we have to do is run the pencil along the floor, and that'll tell me how much I've got to plane that so this sits nicely on the floor. The best tip you can give for a block plane is to make sure it's sharp. Lovely.
Planers are used to flatten and smooth a wood surface, skimming the top to remove thin layers until the desired thickness is reached.
That looks a nice fit there. Bang on.
Now that it fits, the hearth will be spray painted black to tie in with the black bricks. The day's almost over.
Nearly there, one more door to go. Then I've just got to drill some holes so the cables can access round, and then we're good.
It's the final push.
Right, this piece of MDF is going to make the mantelpiece. It's 9 inches wide at the moment, which is too wide, so there'll be too much pressure on it. So we're going to reduce it to 6 inches and then fit it to here. And the batten is extra support, as well as once it's painted, it'll have a decorative purpose as well.
And it's all hands on deck.
Nearly there.
Nearly there now, yeah. She's going to be here any time now.
There's just time for some last minute adjustments. And a few finishing touches. And they're done. So, with a limited budget and just one day, what have the team managed to pull off? Hayley and Rosie Bell wanted the sparse front room to be family friendly with more available storage. They also needed a multifunctional area where they could both sit down together to eat, work and play. And other neglected parts of the house needed a deep clean.
What an action-packed day.
With Maxine and Asher gone, Tommy stays to show the family what they've achieved.
Oh my goodness. Oh wow. Hello.
Hi, Hayley. Hi, Rosie Bell.
Oh wow.
How are you? What do you think?
Oh my goodness. Oh wow. It's absolutely amazing. Oh my goodness.
Asher designed and built, purpose-made for the property, so it's customised furniture for you.
Amazing.
And it's got all the shelving, the storage and cupboards there that you want. All your electrics and your cabling can run around the back of it, so none of that has to be on show.
When the team arrived this morning, only the floor space in the front room's alcove corner was being used. But Asher's custom-made alcove media unit maximises storage without taking up any more precious floor space.
And then here, the fireplace, and well, it was a lot of work, because when we took off the plasterboard, I was hoping there might be a lovely Victorian, tiled insert, but there wasn't. There was just some broken down brickwork and lots of soot. So we decided that we would try and come up with something a bit different.
The old fireplace was boarded up with an ill-fitting make-do mantel, and plain white walls made the room feel cold. Now Tommy's opened up the fireplace, created a new mantelpiece and painted the walls a warmer colour, giving the room more character.
It's nice and plain, which complements the rest of the room.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
I love it.
Oh, good. I know that Rosie Bell, I saw some of your artwork, and you used to have to sit on the floor to do it. And there was nowhere for you to dine as a family.
This morning, the family could only eat together on the kitchen worktop, and Hayley and Rosie Bell either had to work on their laps or craft on the floor. But Tommy's upcycle drop leaf table is a multi-purpose solution to all three problems.
I'll show you how it works.
Okay.
It's very simple. You just lift up the flap, pull out the leg, and there's a little peg fits in a hole on top of the leg, and that anchors it to make sure it's very stable. And then that table is nice and secure.
Oh, wow.
And we've actually got 2 settings for you and Rosie Bell to sit down and have dinner or breakfast or lunch. And when you're finished with it, you can just push the legs in and lower it down. It only takes a couple of seconds.
I'm quite an eco-warrior as well, so the fact that it's been upcycled is
great.
fantastic, yes.
And of course, there are some other little surprises.
Oh, okay.
Maxine has done a deep clean on parts of your kitchen. And she's also worked on the downstairs loo. All the tiles and the grout, they're all like brand new. And Maxine also went into the conservatory and cleaned and buffed all the windows up perfectly.
Oh, wow.
And also washed all the floors right the way through. And on that note, I'm going to love and leave you and let you enjoy the fruits of our hard work today.
I hope you sleep well.
It's been a long, hard day, but thankfully, Hayley and Rosie Bell absolutely loved it.
Oh, wow. Maxine really has cleaned in here.
Finally, with storage and multifunctional areas they needed so badly. But are they still loving the changes a few weeks later?
We've totally fallen in love with the fireplace. It's created an atmosphere of calm. We just love evenings, don't we, with the candles, very cosy. And just display all the things that we love.
Mummy likes to put the mirror there because it makes the room look a bit bigger.
We've been using the table a lot for dining. My laptop is no longer on my lap, it's on the table. And then it tidies away when we're entertaining, so it's all good.
I've been using it for drawing, painting. I've made cards for my friends.
The space that's been created here, it allows me to now display all my plants, which I was longing to do, and the storage area is fantastic because I've managed to transfer all the clutter into the space here and close the doors and you'd never know. It's certainly given me an extra space in that there's a different level, different layer. Everything was very much on the floor before. I think Asher is a dab hand with the saw. This is superb, really well crafted. So very happy with it.